I'm Joe Rapari, and this is Tab, the Truth Always Boomer, and it's time now for another episode of Casual Fridays. So let's pull the tab on that and see what happens. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday again, and it's time for another episode of Casual Fridays. Don't you just love when the DLP, and that's the Democrat, Liberal, Progressive Media, is dishonest? It really is funny to watch. Check this out. It's time for the double D's. Yep, Democrat dishonesty.
Democrat dishonesty.
To give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said, I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a got fired.
What actually happened with the Bidens in Ukraine? We'll fact check the conspiracy theory.
Trump is making a wholly unsubstantiated claim when he alleges corruption by the Bidens. There is no evidence of any wrongdoing.
President Trump has repeatedly suggested, without evidence, that Joe Biden used his VP position to pressure Ukraine to fire the country's top prosecutor.
There's no proof whatsoever that Joe Biden did anything wrong or that Hunter Biden did anything wrong. Does it look great? It doesn't look great, but there's no evidence there. These things just kind of were both occurring.
This could end up being like the 2020 version of birtherism. Ooh, Joe Biden did something bad in Ukraine.
Well, there may not be any evidence as you chuckleheads see it, but there is this from NBC News from October of 2014. Joe Biden's son Hunter kicked out of Navy for cocaine. Vice President Joe Biden's son was booted from the Navy Reserve because he tested positive for drugs, it was revealed on Thursday. A U.S. official told NBC News that Hunter Biden was kicked out of the reserve earlier this year after he failed a drug test. And then we have this from page 6 from March of 2017. X claims Hunter Biden blew money on hookers and drugs. Former Vice President Joe Biden's surviving son Hunter hasn't just dumped his wife for his late brother's widow. His late brother's widow. He's dating his late brother's wife? Wow. He has squandered his family's money on hookers, strip clubs, and drugs, according to divorce papers obtained by the Post. Kathleen's legal maneuvering comes after Hunter allegedly blew through $122,000 in just 2 months. Wow. So exactly what is Hunter Biden's education? From Information Cradle. Let's see, Hunter Biden education. He received a bachelor's degree from Georgetown University and a Juris Doctor from Yale Law School. After graduating from college, Hunter Biden was a member of the Jesuit Volunteer Corps Northwest, where he met his wife. Wow, he had work experience at the Jesuit Volunteer Corps Northwest. Now what the hell is that? Well, the Jesuit Volunteer Corps Northwest responds to local community needs in the Northwest by placing volunteers who provide value-centered service grounded in the Jesuit Catholic tradition. Well, sounds like a very nice place to work, but absolutely not high-paying. Well, as I said, the president may not have any direct evidence, but he sure has one very big question to get an answer to. And that is, why would the largest oil and gas company in Ukraine, Burisma, hire a lawyer with experience recruiting volunteer workers to be on their board, knowing that this person has absolutely no experience with being on a board of a large company, with how the Ukraine does business, or any experience with oil or gas? And this person has a very controversial background. Oh, and by the way, this person happens to be the Vice President of the United States' son. How did that happen? Why would Hunter Biden even apply for such a position? The interviewers would know within the first 2 minutes he wasn't qualified, yet he got the job. But the DLPM, the Democratic, Liberal, Progressive Media, wants you to believe that this is normal, logical, and happens every day. Oh, and let's not forget this little liberal tidbit.
Under the Warren administration, would your vice president's child be allowed to serve on a board of a foreign company? No.
Democrat dishonesty.
Well, I'm sure by now all of you have heard about the Ukrainian phone call transcript and the whistleblower's complaint. I'd like to talk about those two things for a moment and why they're even in the news. Seems a little strange to me. Let's talk about the whistleblower's complaint first. So as you can see here, this is the first page of the complaint. And as far as I'm concerned, this is where everyone should stop reading, right where the big red arrow is pointing. And I've got some things highlighted for you here. So let's read, shall we? In the course of my official duties, official duties, I have received information from multiple U.S. government officials, that the President of the United States is using the power of his office to solicit interference from a foreign country in the 2020 U.S. election. Really? You heard it from multiple U.S. government officials. Over the past 4 months, more than half a dozen U.S. officials have informed me of various facts related to this effort. Really? The information provided herein was relayed to me in the course of official interagency business. Sounds impressive to me. Interagency business. I was not a direct witness to most of the events described. Wait a minute. Can I read that again? I was not a direct witness to most of these events described. However, I found my colleagues' accounts of these events to be credible. Oh, you did you? And then, let's see, the last part, information consistent with these private accounts has been reported publicly. It has? Well, let's see. This jackamuffin who wrote this complaint, it's basically he heard it from his father's brother's nephew's cousin's girlfriend's mother's former roommate that the President of the United States was using his power of his office to solicit interference from a foreign country in the 2020 U.S. election. Really, he was? Wow. Well, I tell you what. I don't give two fat rats' asses about what you think you heard from these government officials. Where are these government officials? Why aren't they filing this complaint? Who the hell are you? Anyway. And then it says, half a dozen U.S. officials have informed me of various facts related to this effort. Oh, they informed you, huh? So you're telling us what you heard from them. I don't give a shit what you heard. I want to know what they heard. I was not a direct witness to most of these events described. I was not a direct witness to most of the... Then why are we even listening to you or reading your goddamn complaint? Go piss up a rope against the wind, will ya? And as far as the telephone call between the president and the Ukrainian president and the associated transcript, as far as I'm concerned, that case is closed and that story is ended. It's very simple. Why is this even in the news? All you got to do is watch this little clip I'm about to show you, and you'll see the case is closed. Listen to this.
It's a great pleasure to me to be here, and it's better to be on TV than by phone.
Yeah.
I think you read everything. So I think you read text. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be involved to democratic, open elections of USA. No, you heard that we had, I think, good phone call. It was normal. We spoke about many things, and so I think, and you read it, that nobody pushed me. Yes.
In other words, no pressure.
And now I'd like to say a few things about the climate change young lady. You know, Greta Thunberg, you know, that girl. Well, this is Greta, she looks like a nice young lady, and she's 16 years old, and she seems to be very passionate about climate change. Now, why a 16-year-old would be worried about climate change is beyond me, or why her parents would allow her to go on the public stage. It's not only public, but it's kind of worldwide. She was at the United Nations, as far as I know here, and wow, she gave this really passionate speech about climate change. And, the Democratic, liberal, progressive media and a lot of other people, they were saying, well, we really can't make fun of her or say too much about her because she is a kid and she's only 16. Well, I look at it this way. If they're going to put her out there and the globalists are going to put her out there to spout all this propaganda about climate change, well then, guess what? I don't give a fat rat's ass how old she is. She's fair game to me. So, I'm going to look at her speech and I'm going to comment on it. So if you'd like to stick around and hear my comments on this 16-year-old's bullshit on climate change, feel free. Let's get started, shall we?
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here.
Yep, you're right. It is all wrong and you shouldn't be here. You should be back at home in school.
I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean.
Okay, Greta, hang on there a second. Who writes your material? Didn't I just say that?
Yet, you all come to us young people for hope.
Oh, sorry, Greta. I'm going to have to call bullshit on that one. I'd never go to a 16-year-old for hope. That would be kind of stupid.
How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones.
How dare me? What do you mean? I never stole anything from anybody, and I certainly have never stole anything from you. But there is one thing I know, and that is I don't believe in white privilege, but you're rapidly changing my mind on that one.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth.
Okay, calm down there, Greta. You can come live in my neighborhood and go to school with my grandkids. There's no people suffering here. There's no people dying here. There's no ecosystems collapsing here. And there's no mass extinctions going on here. I'm willing to use my money and America's economic growth to take you out to Dave & Buster's for a really nice dinner, and you can play some video games there too. My grandkids will love you.
How dare you? For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear.
Well, there you go again with that how dare me, but you're right though, the science has been crystal clear for the last 30 years that every prediction you climate lunatics have made has not come true. So Greta, get your books out, your textbooks, and get on Google and start Googling this stuff and figure this stuff out for yourself. It's not hard. 30 years of predictions, not one has come true. Not one.
How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough?
Wow, you're pretty serious with this how dare you stuff. But anyway, all I know is that the United States has cut our emissions and done our part, and we're polluting less now than we ever have. What have you guys done? So don't be preaching to me. We've done ours. It's up to you guys to do yours. We're not doing any more. We've done enough.
Off in 10 years only gives us a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees and the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control. 50% may be acceptable to you, but those numbers do not include tipping points, most feedback loops, additional warming hidden by toxic air pollution, or the aspects of equity and climate justice. They also rely on my generation sucking hundreds of billions of tons of your CO2 out of the air with technologies that barely exist.
Greta, you gotta calm down and get your facts straight. Over the last 100 years, all the oceans and land surfaces have warmed roughly 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit. In 100 years, 1.3 degrees. And that's according to the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So for all this stuff to happen that you're spouting, all this catastrophe, doom and gloom, the planet would have to warm 2 more degrees in the next 10 years. That ain't gonna happen. And your generation better not start sucking out the carbon from the atmosphere, because there's a carbon drought right now. There's not enough carbon in the atmosphere. Don't do that, then you'll all freeze to death. Come on, get your facts straight, Greta. Come on, girl.
We will not let you get away with this.
Well, you have no say in this, so shut up, go to your room, you're grounded.
Right here, right now, is where we draw the line.
Well, I'm drawing the line here, too. All your internet, video game, cell phone, and TV privileges have now been revoked.
The world is waking up. And change is coming, whether you like it or not.
What? We're done? What? Oh, we're done? Oh, good, we're done. Man, she really was annoying. Man, am I glad we're finished with that. Sheesh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Yep, it's the Casual Friday staple, the Golden Toilet Award for Loser of the Week. And who does this week's Golden Toilet Award go to? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this chuckle-headed moron, Adam Schiff. And why does he receive this coveted award? Well, check this out.
And what is the president's response? Well, it reads like a classic organized crime shakedown. Shorn of its rambling character and in not so many words, this is the essence of what the president communicates. We've been very good to your country, very good. No other country has done as much as we have. But you know what? I don't see much reciprocity here. I hear what you want. I have a favor I want from you, though. And I'm going to say this only 7 times, so you better listen good. I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent, understand lots of it. On this and on that. I'm going to put you in touch with people, and not just any people. I'm going to put you in touch with Attorney General of the United States, my Attorney General, Bill Barr. He's got the whole weight of the American law enforcement behind him. And I'm going to put you in touch with Rudy. You're going to love him, trust me. You know what I'm asking, and so I'm only going to say this a few more times, in a few more ways. And by the way, don't call me again. I'll call you when you've done what I asked.
And so, for being a lying, dishonest scumbag, this week's Golden Toilet Award goes to Adam Schiff for Loser of the Week. Here you go, Mr. Schiff, the Golden Toilet Award. It's a very coveted award, and it's all yours, and you deserve it. It's all yours. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. It will be greatly appreciated. That's it for now. More news later. Take care, and as always, be safe.